Okay, I think I'm beginning to understand Grado just a little bit more. But there are definitely some things that I don't love about this headphone. What's going on, guys? D-Xanax here, and welcome to King of Headphones, the bi-monthly show where I take a random set of headphones and we rank them amongst other headphones on an ever-growing list. We go through the build quality, the aesthetics, the sound, and we see where they land on our list of headphones. So today we're going to be talking about the Grado Hemp. And I've got some thoughts, but you know what? How about we just go ahead and get started?
I want to feel your sound stage resolution and detail in my brain. Plug me in and amp me up. Your audiophile. Attitude gets me oh so hot.
So guys, as always, welcome to King of Headphones. And as I said at the beginning, today we're looking at the Grado Hemp headphones, coming in at $420. Go figure. Now, as far as I understand, this is a limited edition set. I'm not sure if they're even available anymore. The prices on these on the used market are a little bit all over the place. But for what it's worth, it's been a while since I've listened to any other Grado headphones. These are probably the ones that I've enjoyed the most. So let's just dive right into the aesthetics and build quality. Overall, I think as far as Grados are concerned, you know, they all kind of relatively have the same design. I think that these look pretty all right though. I'm definitely digging the compressed hemp. The cups are actually, they're quite nice. It's the most intriguing thing about these headphones other than some of the sound characteristics. I believe this is a combination of compressed hemp and maple wood, and they definitely feel solid and they look very nice. And of course the hemp button here is a very nice touch. But as you can see, the drivers are right there. I mean, they are front and center right into your ears. So you are going to get all of that Grado sound, hot and direct. Now, one thing I will mention about these pads. So on this headphone, I noticed that I had to wear these further back onto my ears than I normally wear headphones. And I guess technically these are on-ear. They're not full-sized over-ear headphones unless you got some gigantic pads on them. But I had to slide these back on my ears just a little bit in order for them to sound correct. To be honest, the first time I put them on and just put them on where I thought they should be resting on my ears, it sounded a little f***ed up. But once I slid them back on my ears, suddenly I was like, oh, this is a Grado headphone. This sounds like a Grado headphone. There's a lot of energy here. Wow. However, sliding these back onto my ears, the way my ears are shaped, this padding kind of irritated the tops of my ears and started making them itchy and hot. So if you have kind of larger ears that kind of stick out a little bit more, that could be an issue, because you're going to want to make sure that these are placed properly on your ears. Otherwise, they're just going to sound like bad. Make sure you got that music piping directly into your holes. That's really my tip of the day, I guess, with these. As far as the rest of it, it's pretty standard stuff. It's the Grado headband. Looks like it came right out of 1986. You've got your tension adjust rods here, which are pretty smooth, I gotta say. Now, of course, the one big issue I've got with these, what year is it? It's 2025 right now. And this cable, why are we not doing detachable cables, Grado? You know, the cable is fine, it's well built, it's covered in a thick feeling nylon, but man, how fantastic would it be if I could just detach these and put my own cable on there. These are definitely, make no mistake, these are old school style headphones, and I think they're for a very particular set of fans and listeners, which we can get into once we touch up on the sound. But I've got to say, you know, for the money that you're paying, it should definitely have a detachable cable, and maybe a little bit more to the band, maybe a little bit more padding. I don't know. They feel they don't feel like $400 pairs of headphones. Let's put it that way. So yeah, since we're kind of dancing around the sound, why don't we just get right into the sound? And so how do they sound? Well, in a word, very energetic. Now, when I said that these were sort of old school headphones, that's kind of what I meant. It's old school sounding. It's like a wall of sound just smacking you in the face. There's a lot of treble energy. The mid-range is pushed very forward. At least one genre, that I listened to the most, which was rock, it's definitely gonna pound you with sound with rock music. I listened to a lot of stuff that I grew up with, a lot of Nine Inch Nails, a lot of Tool, some Pussifer, and I gotta say, I was feeling the angst. It was making me angry, but in a really good way. I also checked out some more classic tunes from Pink Floyd, from Steely Dan, and even on those older tracks, stuff that's recorded from the 60s and 70s, a lot of times those vocals are already kind of pushed back in the mix. These will bring all that forward. So if you are a big fan of classic rock or just rock music in general, I think that these are definitely probably for you, unless you have a big issue with the way they feel on your head. I've got to say they're not the most comfortable headphones I've ever put on my head, but that might be mitigated with some pad rolling. There might be much better pads you can get for these. I didn't really look into that. I believe ZMF makes some sort of pad for these, which would be intriguing because ZMF pads are some of the best in the world as far as I'm concerned. Now, as far as driving these things are super efficient. You can listen to them on practically anything, and I mostly just listen to a lot of stuff on this Hibby R4, and it drove it perfectly well. Now let's go back to that wall of sound I was talking about. It's a lot. It's not really what I normally go for as far as a sound signature, but I gotta say at times it was a lot of fun. Now I did mostly listen to rock music on these, just because I did kind of enjoy that energetic, just assault. I mean, if you like guitars kicking you in the face, these will do that. But unfortunately, I gotta say, I didn't really love these for a lot of other genres. I didn't care for them with electronic music. Jazz was all right, I guess. But some of the horns and the saxophone with that treble energy, it gets a little hot. It does get a little bit ear-piercing at times. And it got a little bit fatiguing, if I'm being completely honest with you. So yeah, I mean, I kind of feel like these are probably a little bit of a one-trick pony, but the one trick that pony does is quite good. If you are a lover of rock music and that's primarily all you listen to, and you don't mind kind of a more old school aesthetic and not the most perfect feeling headphones, these can be really fun, like a lot of fun with a lot of rock music. If you don't care about spaciousness between the instruments and having a large sound stage and detail, I mean, detail was pretty damn good on these, but instrument separation is non-existent. But like I said, if you just don't really prioritize those things, you're probably really going to be into these. And the bass. Now, so as I said earlier in the video, it's been a while since I've listened to some Grado headphones, and I've only heard a handful of Grado headphones. They've never really buttered my biscuit, so to speak, so much. And I remember some of them just like very much lacking in bass. These are pretty thumpy. These have bass, so don't worry. They do have bass. They have a nice thump to them, like somebody's just, flicking your ear. However, the quality is it's just not there. I mean, all the bass on these sounds the same, but it does have a nice thumpy presence to it. So there's a physicality to these. I think overall it helps characterize these headphones fairly well. But if you're looking for really detailed, deep bass, it's not going to give you that. It's just a nice, fun kick in your ears type of deal. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of about all I've got to say on these. It's a great rock headphone. It's a great one-trick pony headphone. It doesn't excel anywhere except maybe having guitars that will kick you in the balls. Vocals are nice and clear. Everything is pushed all the way forward. So it's in your face, man. It's right in your face. And if you're into that, if you just like an assault, then hey, I got a headphone for you. It's called the Grado Hemp. Check it out. So yeah, build quality, okay. You know, like I said, it's standard Grado fare, I would say. The cable, I mean, it still pisses me off. Honestly, I like detachable cables personally for storage purposes. I like to unhook my cables, I hang my headphones up on their stands, and I wind the cable up nicely. I'm just very organized like that. I'm kind of anal like that. Let's wind it up, and then you put it down, and then it's still just kind of there. But, you know, it is what it is. I'm guessing a lot of people that buy these headphones really don't care much about that. Maybe they do. I'm making all these assumptions of the kind of people that would buy these headphones. I honestly don't know. All I'm saying is that if you're a super fan of rock and you want that energy and you want the vocals and the guitars just blaring into your ear holes, this is a pretty sweet headphone, and it has bass. So what about the value? Are these worth the original asking price of $420? For me, no. But you can get these used now for, you know, around $300 or so dollars. And that's putting it a little bit closer to what I would think is pretty reasonable if, again, you primarily listen to rock music and or don't really mind a lot of that peaky treble that you're sometimes going to get, and not the most detailed bass, not the most high quality bass, but bass nonetheless. If I keep these long term, I'm definitely going to look into some different pads for sure. The band, I mean, it's like the most basic band on earth, but it does its job. And the band didn't bother me at all. I could wear these for 2 hours, and I felt no hot spots on my head. Nothing felt like it was nailing down into my head after 2 hours. Overall, yeah, the detachable cable, I'm gonna keep harping on that. For the money, I don't think that you should be locked into just this cable and that's it. I mean, these are sort of artisanal headphones, right? So you're paying for that handmade situation, made in America. I think these are made in Brooklyn. So yeah, you're getting all that. So a lot of the cost is kind of going into that. But I'm going to be honest, I mean, for, you know, $420, I think you could do better. I think you could do a lot better. China, you know, go get yourself a hi-fi man or something. But I don't know, I'm just, I guess I'm kind of starting to ramble now. Let's go ahead and throw this guy on the list. All right, so now that we've got the list pulled up, we can take a look here. This is still early days, so obviously we only have 2 headphones on the list so far. I've gone ahead and put the average prices for these guys on the list as well. Thanks to a helpful comment that suggested that. So I'll go ahead and start putting the prices on the list. So where does the hemp fall on this list? I mean, for me, I think it's a very easy number 3. I think it's very simple, no-brainer there. So let's put the Grado Hemp on here, and I'm going to say this is a C tier headphone as well. And this one was $420. Yeah, I mean, as the list exists at this current time, I would have to say that the hemp is definitely in 3rd place. So congratulations to the Grado Hemp for being a number 3 headphone on the King of Headphones list. So yeah, I think that it just doesn't really come close to the Edition XS in terms of what I like as far as sound is concerned. You know, the Edition XS has that nice, big, wide open sound stage, very good instrument separation, very similar presentation actually on the guitars. The guitars have a lot of energy on the Edition XS, similar to the Hemp, maybe not quite as like in your face, but even though other parts of the mid-range on the Edition XS sometimes sound a little bit pulled back, especially where the vocals are concerned, the Hemp really shoves those right up in your face. Even with saying all that, I think that the Edition XS is just a clear just a better headphone. And then of course our current king of headphones, the Focal Clear, still on top, still the one to beat. So, but we got a long way to go. This is very early days on this list. So, you know, I want to thank you guys for checking these videos out, and consider, you know, subscribing, because I'm going to make a video for every headphone I can get my hands on. I'm going to go ahead and make a video for it, because why not, you know? So we're just going to keep going, and I'm going to keep ranking these headphones and talking about them. So please like this video if you found it entertaining or enjoyable, and go into the comments and let me know what kind of headphones you're interested in seeing. Let me know how you feel about the list currently. Any suggestions? Love to look at your comments, and I'll answer any questions I can if I have the answer. And yeah, thanks again for watching, guys. I really do appreciate it, and I will definitely see you guys in about 2 more weeks. I'm going to do another one, and that's going to be a special video. We're going to do something a little bit different, but it's going to be fun. So yeah, I really appreciate it, guys, and as always, be good to each other, and I'll see you in about 2 weeks.